Oh, it's that time, y'all. Live again. The Juice Box Heroes podcast coming to you from Riverside. I'm PK. I'm joined as always by Bryles and the leader of the Dubon fan club, Moreno. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man? As you guys can see, I'm from a top secret location known as my bedroom because I was so excited to do this that I kind of forgot to bring my laptop home. So let's see how this goes on my phone. So big win tonight. The Astros kind of sputtered against Boston. They did exactly what I said they would do against the White Sox. So again, big statement tonight. So I'm doing pretty good. Bryles, how you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you guys. Totally agree. The White Sox series wasn't pretty. I know we're going to get into it here in a little bit, but hey, a win's a win, right? So, and then speaking of not pretty, yeah, we we took care of Boston in Boston, but when they came to our house, it didn't look exactly the way we thought it was going to go.
Yeah, for sure. The Boston series was kind of a little bit frustrating because, especially about how we had played up in Fenway and how we owned them. I think the last 6 games at Fenway, you know, we hadn't lost to them. So for them to come here, take 2 out of 3 from us was, it sucked, but we're still on this massive roll, massive, roll as far as wins are concerned. And so there's going to be a little bit of bumps. And you would have liked to win the series against Boston, but you take your 2 L's and move on to Baltimore tonight. Arrighetti looked really good. Like he looked really freaking good. I mean, he didn't have the 12 strikeouts like he's had here recently, but Adam Wainwright on the call tonight was, I mean, praising Arrighetti the whole time for his pitch locations, his curveball. Um, and I mean, he went 6 innings. I thought he could have gone 7, to be honest with you. I didn't think the pitch count was all that as high as I, would have thought it would have been, but Arrighetti looked great.
Yeah, he did. I mean, like the big thing with him was that when he didn't really put himself in a lot of situations that normally in the past where he would kind of falter. I mean, he looked really good, and thank God that we picked up this Ben Gamble guy. I mean, this guy goes what 2 for 4? Yeah, goes 2 for 4, and 2 RBIs. I mean. Shea Whitcomb comes out. He's got a picks up a big 2-run single to pad the lead. I mean, so I mean it was kind of like it was nice and refreshing to see the bottom of the order do something because that was a big thing that I noticed. In the White Sox series and in the Red Sox series was that man the bottom of the order was kind of trash. I mean, it was just like you could see a significant drop off once they got through hitters 1 through 5, and then 6 through 9 or something. I mean, even some nights it was 5 through 9. It was just like, oh God, So, uh, yeah, man. I mean, he looked good. Team looks good.
Well, and to your point, like the bottom of the lineup was just like a revolving door there for a while. We were trying anybody we could, even to where they had the screw up the other day where they had Cabbage at third base, and we're like, wait, what? It's just it's been one guy after the other. We've been sending people up and down, and then all three of us have been talking about different guys that the Astros could have picked up in the last like what 2 weeks off of waiver wires after the trade deadline, and come to find out they pick up Ben Gamble. I mean, that was not on my radar. I will tell you that. And then all of a sudden he's in the game and then does absolutely amazing. And then PK, to your point, also when we were talking about like Arrighetti, it's like the one thing I will say is, yeah, he probably could have gone a little bit more, but I know one of the things they're trying to do right now is definitely limit these guys. I feel like we've got some of these young kids that we've had to force into the starting rotation are now like on these kind of not limited pitch counts, but they're being super careful with it. So it's like if we're up 5-0, 6-0, and Arrighetti's cruising, I think that they're actually going to try to take a gamble here and like pull them out and then just give it to the bullpen, see what they can do. Although bullpen's been getting taxed as well, so.
Well, with Dubin coming in tonight, I mean, I think I text Chris, or maybe it was our group chat, and like he scares me. I don't trust him. Like I don't trust Dubin.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, because when I read the text, it says Dubon scares me. I'm like, dude, he's been scaring me since day one.
Yeah,
I
I
thought you
saw the
finally
same
saw the
thing too.
light.
No, unless it auto corrected, but it was Dubin, right? Because I'm like, yeah, we got a 6-run lead, but I just don't. I don't trust him. I just don't. And he looked good. He looked good tonight. I mean, I think he had a couple. I forget. It might have been the 8th inning where he walked 2 guys, but other than that, like he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I got a little squirrely in the 8th, and I walk out and I look at the the game, and I'm like, man, leave it to Dubin to keep it interesting. I mean, but like I said, he came through, shut him down, and I mean, we shut out a very powerful offense tonight with you know not even one of our best pitchers on it in our rotation. It wasn't Fromber that shut him out. It wasn't Blanco that shut him out. It wasn't JV that shut him out. It was it was the one guy that when I looked at the the 3 pitchers that were going for the series, it was like, well, Baltimore's going to win. It's going to win. It was this game, and I don't mind being wrong. So
I mean, you're
there you
wrong a
go.
lot, so
I don't know about a lot. I feel like that's fairly strong. So uh, thank you, sound guy. You're nailing it. You're killing it tonight.
I'm having too much. I'm having too much fun with the media. I'm gonna need to get more of them.
And I know that we had issues last week, and what I can tell you is, for some reason, we're still not live on Facebook, but we are live on YouTube. So I don't know what's going on with Facebook.
Maybe one week we'll have both of them
Well, it just, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
at
I
the
mean,
same time.
because we've streamed Facebook 2 weeks in a row up until last week, and I don't know if it's. I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe the other times we didn't, make a um, what's it called, an event. Maybe that's what's kind of like doing it, and people are clicking on the event. I mean, but like, I don't know. This shit makes no sense to me. Like, Facebook right now could suck it.
Well,
I don't
I'm
know
going to
why
go to the
this is so
bullpen and
hard.
get my wife on that for next week then, because trust me, she's a Facebook expert when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, that's good because we were talking about this today at lunch. I was like, no, unfortunately, the IT guy for the Juicebox Heroes is completely underqualified. I don't know how we got the job.
Yeah.
So
Well, we didn't have a lot of choices, not a lot of resumes to pick from, so we just picked the first guy that came.
yeah, unfortunately, it was me. So
Yeah.
but like I said, so the good thing is we are live streaming somewhere, and I did post the links to YouTube just in case. So plan.
Yeah. Just in
Yeah,
case.
I didn't want
Just
to
in
take
case
any.
just in case anybody wants to tune in.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, just in case that they were highly upset and they were like, "Shit, I can't see him on Facebook." I was like, "Have no fear, we have a backup option."
Wait, don't you worry, we're here for you.
Yeah, we got you covered. So yeah, and we'll have to get your wife on it because I don't know. I really have no idea what I did different these last 2 weeks. So
It's all right. Look, we're live on something. But we got 3 more. Today's Thursday, right? Yes, we got 3 more with Baltimore. Is that what it is?
Yep.
it's a 4-game series.
Yeah, because it's Thursday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Usually they're off on Thursday.
Yeah, then we got Philly after that. At
Ooh.
Philly.
And then we got KC.
Yeah, it's a tough little stretch coming up, man.
And I mean, even though that we do have obviously the series right now with Baltimore and then Philly coming up, both these teams, even though they're in first place, well, I know Baltimore's been fighting with the Yankees for first place all season, but anyway, point being is they're very competitive and they're always in the top this season so far in wins. So, but they've been sputtering lately. They haven't been playing great baseball. They've been playing good baseball, but not great. So to the point of like having Aaron Getty out there tonight, and Chris, you saying like, if there was going to be a game we were going to lose, you might have thought this was going to be the one. They haven't been lights out. So I think we've got a very, very good shot of taking 3 out of 4 of these if we actually keep playing our games like we do. And they've had some timely hitting tonight. I mean, obviously we already talked about Ben Gamble coming in and doing what he's done. That might have been a little bit of luck, but at the same time, I'll take it all day long. With the Phillies, I don't know. I don't follow the National League religiously, but I do keep up with them a little bit. And I will tell you that the Phillies, they have been good all season, but the last, I would say, probably 3 weeks, pretty much after the All-Star break, they haven't been lights out. They've been good, but not great. So we'll see what we can do in Philly. I mean, I'm super excited about this series going into the weekend, and we'll see what happens.
So, yeah, no, for sure. Let's back up a little bit because we did some predictions for the White Sox series and the Red Sox, right? As far as what they would do over those 6 games. And they went, 3-3, right? 3-3. I think we all took 4-2.
Yes, but to be fair, I did say they were going to. Yeah, I did say that they were going to drop the first game to Crochet.
Here, I'm going to hit you with that. There you go. Great job.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hit him with the hand clap.
There you go.
But no, you're right. So the Crochet game, I mean, that dude's filthy. I mean, he's good, and but still the White Sox at the end of the day, and you still got to show up and play. But thank God we didn't drop that series. The Boston one, I had a little bit more confidence coming into that series just based off of how we played them at Fenway. Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed in the fact that we dropped 2 of 3, but in those 2 losses, I mean, we were hanging in there. I think basically the Wednesday was the only game that really wasn't like close. I think because it was 4-1, but I think they hit a bomb late in the game. But the Tuesday night game was a very winnable game. But I went 3-3 in the 2 series before. I threw out there 3-3, and they went 4-2. And then this last episode, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go 4-2, and here they go 3-3. So we got 7 games coming up between. We talked about Baltimore and Philly, plus the 3 with Kansas City. I mean, it's a really tough stretch. If you look back at the Baltimore series that we played at Minute Maid, back in June, we swept them. But we swept them, right? We swept them.
Yeah.
But we like beat the shit out of them. I mean,
we had that
almost coughed up the first game when we were up like 14-3, right? And hung on to win 14-11. I remember that because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. These guys are going to drop.
I think I pitched in that game.
Right. And so I mean, I like our chances against Baltimore. They've got a lot of starting pitching issues. Eflin just went on the DL, right?
Yeah.
The guy and so.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, she got a shoulder issue, so they have a lot of pitching issues, and it's going to be cool to see the battle can go down to the end. And I was thinking about tonight watching the game was, if you're a Yankee fan, you actually have to root for the Astros in this series to beat Baltimore. For them, for the East. And I don't really care, but I just thought about how funny that is that as a Yankee fan, you're probably you need Houston to beat Baltimore so that Yankees can build their lead or whatever, which I don't really care. I'm just saying it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was actually listening. I don't know how I got to it. I was on YouTube, got into a rabbit hole. But somehow I was listening to the Michael Kay show, and that's like their Yankees guy, whatever. Yeah. And they were pretty much saying that the only team that the Yankees fear right now is the Astros. Because pretty much they're saying everybody that has been sputtering pretty much since the All-Star break, but there's one team that got hot, and that's Houston. Going back to the White Sox series, because Mike, you and I, we went to that, was the Friday game, right?
Right.
And
hang on, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you. I'm gonna pause it. Time out. So you need to tell me that the 2 games that you've gone to in the last week, they both lost?
I mean, that's neither here or there. I mean, I don't know why
he's not wrong.
I mean, I don't know why we got to bring out the negativity. I mean, we've had a pretty good.
It's not negativity, it's facts, because we have another friend that went on Wednesday's game they lost, and so I'm gonna tell the world, stop going to the games, stay home, stay home and watch it like us.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I mean, but like the thing that kind of caught me off guard during that first White Sox game is that, man, they gave Corey Jolks this fucking 5 minute montage. Like he was like an MVP, played with us for 10 seasons, and he just happened to sign with the White Sox. It's like he played like 40 games.
Yeah,
I don't even think he had
I
100 at
noticed.
bats.
Well, the
And
funny
like
thing
there's
is, like after that montage, they showed him, and he's like in a golf shirt, like
Like not
sitting
playing.
yeah,
on the
Suited
he's
up.
not
side.
even playing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not even like suited up for the game. It was hilarious.
I mean, maybe it's just because he's from Houston. That could be the only thing.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, and also thank you, Corey Lee. And that was it. That was it.
And Corey Lee, thank you. Golf
Yeah.
clap.
I mean, so I thought that was weird because it was like, I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like back in the day, Hunter Pence. Okay, I got you. Back in the day,
Oh, who
Roy
was that?
Oswalt after he got traded,
I
but
get
I
the
mean,
Prince
this
jokes
guy,
wrong.
yeah, I mean, this guy, didn't even like, I don't even know if he got 100, maybe 130 at bats. That's about it. And
I
they
think
gave
if
him this montage, like the Rockets did that first home game when James Harden came back. They gave him this, like, everybody, it's,
on
you
your
know,
feet,
yeah, it's Corey Jokes.
Corey
And
freaking
I'm like,
jokes.
yeah. And he's
He
like
didn't
not
even
even
get
playing for
his
the White
jersey
Sox. Yeah.
retired at a strip club. Move
Yeah.
on.
So,
What did y'all
yeah,
what y'all think about
yeah.
JV's return?
I mean, I think he looked a little rusty. I mean, but it wasn't. I mean, like I think if anybody thought he was going to come into that game and pitch like he did in like 2019 or pitch like he did in 2021 or 2022, I thought they had that expectation bar a little bit too high. Um, I mean, I'm surprised he went six. I figured he'd go five. I mean, I think my stat line that I kind of was my prediction was he would go five, give up 3 earned runs, walk three, strike out four. I don't know what his final line set was. I know Andrew just texted it to us. But I mean, you have to understand, man, the guy's 41. I mean, like as great as he was in 2021, you have to understand the man missed like a year and a half. He didn't play. So yeah, I mean, that first season coming back, it's like he had a brand new arm. And then, he missed some time last year, and then he got traded back to us. I just think, Father Time's undefeated. I'm not saying he's trash. I mean, but like, I don't think anybody with a decent baseball mind expected him to come in and go 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, and give up, and shut out Boston. You know, that was
No,
just my
absolutely
Yeah, what do you
not.
think, Ross?
No, I was going to say absolutely not. And it's, we with him coming in his first game on Wednesday, I mean, I think we kind of all had the understanding that he wasn't going to go deep in that game by any means. I mean, I don't know if he was on a pitch count or not, but at the same time, we were expecting probably limited action from him. And Chris, I think you said he was going to go five. He went five. He gave up what, three, I believe. So I think you pretty much nailed that. But at the same time, going forward into the season, it's like, what are we going to get? Are we going to get? I don't think we're going to get that Justin Verlander that we've seen for the last like 2, 3, 4 seasons. But if we can get something out of him that resembles that, then I think it's going to be a huge win, at least, and a bonus for everybody else. It's going to be a huge like boost for all the guys on the team. They're going to say, hey, it's JV day. All right, cool. Let's go out, get hits. Let's get runs. Let's see what we can do. And if he gives up three, hopefully we already got 4 or 5 on the board. But yeah, he is not the same guy that he was, a few years ago. We can just hope the best that we get like the best out of him for what he's got left in the tank.
Yeah, for sure. And, according to our stat guy, it's 6 Ks over 76 pitches over 6 innings. So I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, that's basically what Verlander at 40 or 41, however old he is, like that should be the expected line for him, right? 5, 6 innings, strikeout per inning. JV's going to give up his vintage solos. That's just what he does because he throws that fastball up in the zone, right? So I think if you get 5 or 6 innings out of the guy with 6 Ks and K per inning, like I'll take it. And then if he can sprinkle in a 7-inning game, like when go back to vintage JV, I'll take that also. It's the same with like the 30 minutes that we wasted last week on the episode where me and Bryles were discussing how much left of Kikuchi we have to eat before we lady in the tramp in the middle, right? Like
He
Kikuchi's
had another
been
good start. He had another good
he had
start.
another good freaking start, man, and I'll take it all day. I'm so glad that I have to eat crow on this. You know what I mean? Because me, like everybody, I was hating it for the simple fact of not so much who we gave up, but who we were getting back and like what he had done in his last 5 starts. If you just looked at his line, but it's been night and day. And then Chris's argument to that was, look at what the Astros pitching staff always does to, not always, but for the most part, always does to these pitchers, is they find something in their mechanics and or pitch sequence that unleashes this whole new pitcher, and that's what we're seeing with Kikuchi. Like our starting rotation has been fantastic in his run, and we had to have it. We had to have it. Now Rennell didn't look very sharp. What was that, Tuesday's game? I think it lasted 4 innings. Was it 4 innings? I think he lasted on Tuesday, maybe.
Yeah, it was 4 innings.
You know what I mean? So his last couple starts haven't been very sharp, but I think it's kind of expected, and we've discussed it several times. This is the most innings this guy's ever pitched. It's where are we? Almost basically late August, right? He's never pitched as many innings. He was not going to sustain how he started the season throughout the whole season. I mean, you're going to get arm fatigue. So, and then if you throw in Yainer Diaz and what this cat's been doing, that dude has been Captain freaking Clutch. Captain Clutch.
No, he has. And, so sorry about it. I was trying to get all of our YouTube live feed to all the different groups. We discussed this before. I mean, you have a couple of guys in your rotation who they're about to go further than they've ever gone before. I mean, like I said, this time last year, Blanco was a bullpen arm, and this kind of ties in with JV. You get a healthy JV back, more than likely, I would probably assume you roll into a 6-man rotation.
I think
and that's gonna, because you're not gonna send. Especially after tonight, you're not gonna send Arrighetti to the bullpen. You're not gonna send Blanco to the bullpen. You're not gonna send Kikuchi to the bullpen. I feel like, you got to go 6. That's the only way. And then your expectations, like you were saying with JV, you need him to give you 5 or 6. And that's it. And then again, like you said, sprinkle every now and then a good 7-inning run, where, I just feel like that's kind of, but again, too, you got to have good starting pitching, because even though you have 6, you roll with a 6-man rotation, you're still rolling with however many arms and you have in a bullpen, plus a new addition from a not so
oh yes,
unfamiliar face. So
Mr. Neris is back.
Yeah, so they just announced today they signed Hector Neris. So I'm assuming that with Neris coming in, my money's on Caleb Orp is probably going to get sent down to AAA.
Dude, I was
going to say, even though he's looked pretty good.
Well.
Yeah, it's either him or Seth Martinez.
Hi, Seth.
Seth hasn't been pitching that much, though. That's what I don't understand.
He really hasn't. He's been bypassed. It's been a lot of Caleb Ferguson, Caleb Orr.
Ferguson's looked good too. He had a couple of rough outings, and then
Will Smith 2.0 is.
Yeah, he's come in.
Nickname.
I agree. I think you almost have to send down Seth Martinez. I don't think Caleb Ward has given you any reason to send him down, and that's another guy who's throwing freaking 98. He's throwing 98.
Stupid gas.
Speaking of 98, there's a kid down in AAA right now. I think he's had 18 consecutive scoreless innings, and he's hitting 99 on the gun consistently. So you always have that in the back of your pocket too. But they're gonna have
to the ghost of Forrest Whitley.
Yeah, the ghost of Forrest Whitley has merged with Forrest Whitley. But the thing with that is that you got to call him up before September 1st, and that's so he's eligible for the playoff roster. So you have, that's the good thing is that you have an arm now. Again, the PCL is a hitters league, so we're seeing that with the 19 guys we've called up in the last 3 weeks, where, they'll get off to a decent start and then they'll kind of trickle off. I mean, Zenzo got a hit, I think it was last night or the night before, so that put his average back up to like 190 something. Whitcomb is starting to look, and I think Barles was talking about it. Whitcomb out before he hit that 2-run single. I'm starting to think, okay, Whitcomb, starting to look a little overmatched, and then, and that's where it ties into the conversations that beating the dead horse of, bringing in a veteran guy, maybe his last name rhymes with Strigio, just a guy
he's
who's
not coming.
I'm just saying, what have we seen? We've seen Pedro Leon. He's already got set back down. I guarantee you, I mean, DeZenzo, as much as I like the kid, I mean, why do I need another 190 bat on my roster? I mean, Shea Whitcomb, in my opinion, saved his ass today. Because it's like Whitcomb, yeah, I like the kid. He's got awesome, walk-up music. I like it. But it's like, I mean, he's not striking out all the time. I mean, but still, I think his average now is like, 220 something, maybe 230. Andrew, fact check me on Shea Whitcomb's batting average. But like you have the Zenzo, again, he's hitting under 200. And it's like, are we going to roll with one of these kids during the playoffs, or we're going to roll with them and they're never going to play? And it's great. Our producer's drinking. Fantastic. Or are we gonna roll with like a guy that's gonna take the position of Gray Kessinger or Diaz before he was cut, where he's just there to be there?
Honestly, I don't see DeZenzo making it to the playoff roster. Whitcomb, if he keeps playing the way that he is going to play, I don't see him getting cut from that. But at the same time, do we need, like you were just saying, like, do we need that like veteran presence? I mean, we brought Hector Nerisson. They were also talking about on the MLB Network, and I brought it up to you guys, was like they were looking at Yuli Gurriel and trying to grab him from the Atlanta Braves. He's hitting over 300 in AAA with a ton of home runs and RBIs right now for the at-bats that he has. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, throw him at first, throw him at third. If, Bregman gets banged up again, something like that, he can play more than just first base. I would be cool with that. But at the same time, if we're talking about with who we've got, these young rookies that we've got and how they're actually playing, I think Whitcomb makes the cut. I think DeZenzo is going to go back down. That's the way it is.
Yeah, but who's going to replace DeZenzo on the roster?
Your guess is as good as mine right now. I mean, it's there's too many guys right now that are underperforming that we keep bringing up from AAA. Just like you were saying with Leon, it's like we were all excited about Leon, and then he kind of sputtered, went back down. Zenzo's kind of I'm going to say he's not on the same path, but he's getting pretty damn close. So what are you going to actually do? I mean, they cut Aledmus Diaz, which he wasn't producing anyway. So, I mean, no big deal. But what are you going to do with that final roster spot? Who is that one person that's going to come up that I don't know about? Maybe you guys know better. What do you think, PK?
I honestly don't know who you'd bring up from that we haven't already brought up from AAA for the playoff roster. I mean, I really don't. But circling back to Cavan Biggio, Chris, he's still a free agent.
Okay.
And how?
But what I'm there's clearly not a market for him.
I mean, I get it. And again, I'm not trying to sell him as he's this potential MVP. I mean, but I mean, I'd rather have a guy who's a veteran who can, play multiple positions besides first base. You have
Dubon, and listen, before you do that with your face, okay? Dubon can play everywhere.
He's not a left-handed at bat. I'll tell you that.
Oh God! Well,
and he missed 2 ground balls at third base. And speaking,
man,
you want to bring
so
up
bad.
I mean, no, look,
and then Tuesday night, he cost us a run because he tried to gun. It was a base hit I forgot what position he was playing. It was a base hit to him. You've got Jared Duran, who is super fast, and he's already running on contact. And it's like, why you have no shot of hosing him out? Why are you throwing it home and you're allowing the runner from first to advance to second? And then what happened? Base hit, that guy scores. So I don't want. I'm done with this Dubon nonsense. I know we got a couple of hits.
I'm not,
and-
listen, all I'm saying is that Cavan wasn't tearing the cover off the baseball. So you would have a left-handed batter in Cavan that would be doing the same thing that Dubon's doing, not hitting.
And real quick, Andrew, an OPS of 643 is not good. That's not a good OPS.
But
All right,
let's go back to so I like Shea Whitcomb better than DeCenzo.
I do too.
I think DeCenzo.
I think we all do.
I think DeCenzo's going to go back down. There's no way.
I just don't see how he's going to go down because we can't. There's nobody to replace him unless you're going to call up another outfielder. Or really,
all he's doing is playing first.
The smart thing would do to send him down and call up another reliever because you need to roll deep with that bullpen.
But you don't have any options. Like let's look at you have Dubon, McCormick, Gamble now. Now look, Gamble.
Yeah, Cabbage too.
Cabbage is garbage though. He's complete garbage.
I understand he's garbage. I'm not saying he's great. I'm just
every option that we have for outfield other than Jordan whenever he plays outfield. The
way Ben Gamble's played, he's
starting every day.
One game.
but circling back to what you were saying about the Baltimore series. So the key to winning this series is that because Jordan went over 4. I think Altuve went can't remember if he had a hit. Most of our timely hitting came from, you had that bunt that Myers laid down that he got an error from Corbin Burns. But
Caratini got a hit. Whitcomb got a good hit.
So what happens is what we need is not to put all the eggs into the Ben Gamble basket. So if Ben Gamble plays tomorrow and he goes over 3, then I need Shea Whitcomb to go 2 for 3 or 2 for 4. I need McCormick, if he's playing, to pick up that slack. And that's how, again, that's, it makes you miss the days of 3-4 years ago where our lineup was stacked. And it was even if I get through 1 through 4, I got to go through 6 through 8. And that's not any fun either. But, tonight where it's you got Jordan not hitting. I don't think Bregman got a hit. I don't think Altuve got a hit.
Bregman got a jammed little blooper. But
okay, so Bregman got a blooper. So, but what I'm saying is that we got the big pick-me-up from the bottom half of the lineup.
Yeah.
So, again, with that bottom half of the lineup being the atrocity that it is, the key for us to win is to have multiple players to this 4-game series show up when, if Ben Gamble goes 0 for 3 tomorrow, I need, Dubon to go 2 for 4, or I need McCormick to do something. And then the following day, when those guys go back to being 0 for 4, maybe Ben Gamble has a hit or 2, timely hits, which is kind of, for this lineup is a, tall task to ask for, because it's I get, like I said, you look at, outside of tonight, you look at Jake Myers. Jake Myers is the king of the solo home runs. He'll hit a home run, no one's on base. And you'll be like, hell yeah, cool, right? And then he'll come up his next at bat. You'll have runners on first and third, or bases loaded, 2 outs, and he strikes out. So it's he cashed his 1 hit for the game with no one on base.
Mm-hmm.
Chaz, man,
he don't even know what he's doing.
He's another guy. He's hitting 195, 196. So that's almost an automatic out. If he runs into anything, nobody's on base, so it's nothing. And then of course, and that's the difference. It's whenever those guys get on base, Pena gets on base, Bregman gets on base. You got runners, bases loaded, 2 outs, and then who comes up? It's Myers, or it's DeCenzo,
or it's
McCormick, or it's Dubon, and it's almost what's going to happen. And then you see Gamble come up tonight, both with 2 outs, both with runners in, first and third. And it's like a breath of fresh air. Base hit. That's all you need. Base hit, score a run. Fantastic. I mean, the fact that they did that to Corbin Burns tonight, that's a big statement. Corbin Burns is a potential Cy Young winner
Yeah,
almost
he's an
every single
all-star.
year. Yeah. So this wasn't, just some guy that Baltimore threw out there. I mean, that was their ace.
That's their ace, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so we need the bats to hit. We need the bats to hit outside of the regular 4 or 5 guys that we depend on.
Chaz has got to be shaking in his boots right now about getting sent down, especially with that performance that Ben Gamble put on tonight. I mean, if anybody's getting sent down next, it's got to be Chaz. I mean, he has been nails in the past, but let me tell you, man, he has looked absolutely overmatched offensively and defensively in the last, I'm going to say, 2 months. It has been bad. And I love me some Chaz, but man, I can't defend him right now. It has been ugly. He has got to go down. Like, listen to some batting coaches. I don't know. Hit the tee, man. Go do something. Figure it out, and then come back up. But he's got to figure something out. And Chris, I know you're our minor league expert when it comes to stuff like that. So where are we with Melton? Is he anywhere even close to coming up? Anything that we can possibly think of, or is they just going to leave him there even when we have roster expansions coming up, next month?
I don't see him coming up at all this year. I don't.
Okay.
And I would say if he's going to come up, it won't be until maybe. I mean, like I said, the last time I saw him play down in Sugarland, I mean, he wasn't lighting the world on fire. I think he had under 200 batting average. So, I mean, we're going again next weekend. So I'll let him know that he needs to get his shit together, and because the Juice Box Heroes will be evaluating.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I think his. I mean, I would say the earliest would be sometime next year. I don't see him coming up at all. At least not this year.
Yeah, I don't think they need to bring their whole damn farm system up in 1 year.
Yeah, and
it feels like it's what they've done.
And
but the other thing
it makes no sense to waste the minor league options on them too.
Yeah. Because with all the shit that we're saying, with all the stuff about we don't have we got McCormick and Dubon and all this other crap. We don't know what we have. We need these guys to step up. With all this being said, these guys have gone out there since I just saw it tonight, May 9th or something like that, and have gone 56-32, like the best record in all of baseball since that time frame. Have picked up 15 games in the division.
It's crazy.
And like we talked about it before, early on in the season, back in April, May specifically, and even June, to be honest with you, that the Mariners, they messed up by not putting us away. Like they messed up by they had to bury us, to bury the division.
Well,
huge
huge
mistake, and now it cost them their head coach.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we were kind of buried. They were up 10 games on us. I mean, that's a pretty good burying. I mean,
it is, but that was 10 games before the All-Star break. So if you can be within 10, you still have a shot at the All-Star break. But you got to play the type of ball that we're playing right now.
I think if it was any team but Houston, they would have been. I mean, again, too, everything has kind of fallen into place this season. I mean, it's kind of crazy to say that with, all the injuries, with Kyle Tucker, being out for almost 2.5 months. You had JV be out. Now, I don't know if we covered this last episode or if it happened after that. Garcia's done for the year, so he ain't coming back. So
I think we talked about in the first 30 minutes of our live, not live episode.
Yeah, our live, not live. I like it. But I mean, I think that we're in the worst division in Major League Baseball. I mean, like if you look at it, if we were in the AL East, we'd still be 7 games back, 6 games back. If we were in the Central, we'd be about 5.5, 6 games back. I mean, right now, if we were not, leading our division, we'd be 3.5, maybe 3 back in the third wild card spot. But again, I mean, like for the longest time, I mean, like we saw Seattle, they were all pitching, no hitting, right? And they did go and get a Rosarena, and I was like, okay, that's a good first move to make, but they really didn't make any other moves besides that. And like we kind of watched them. I mean, the Rangers kind of like came in and out, in and out. I mean, but like we went over that when we did our AL West preview, that they needed all their young guys to completely replicate what they did last year. I mean, you had a 2 months, stunt where Garcia was hot garbage. I mean, so, I mean, like I said, if it was any other team, they would have probably been dead in the water. I mean, but again, too, it's like, I mean, it's awesome that they did this, but now it's like, now we really can't talk shit about, Dana Brown, because this is the shit that he said. He said, well, my Braves team came back into this. And we reamed him for it. We did. I was one of them, too. We were like, cool story, Dana. This isn't the 2021 Braves and blah, 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 blah. And again, it shows why we're a bunch of assholes sitting here doing a podcast and not running the damn baseball team.
Yeah.
Oh, I put him on check on Twitter like 100 times.
Yeah.
I mean, in this, and everything he said, we, not me, but a lot of people questioned the Kikuchi deal. And look how it's happened now.
Not me. Not me.
This guy, too.
I mean, but, so, I mean, like, it's just, I mean, yeah, Seattle had the opportunity to bury him, and they didn't. Just like, we complained about how the Astros had the opportunity to bury the Rangers, which we didn't as well at that time, right? I mean, so, but, the word has gotten out, that this team's for real. And I'm not hating, I'm just saying, like I said, the Yankees, from what I'm hearing, they want no part of the Astros right now, which I don't blame them.
I don't think anybody does.
And
nobody should want to play them.
No.
Well, look at what we did to Baltimore tonight. I mean, yeah, of course, nobody wants a piece of us. And the one thing that I will say is that we totally reset after the All-Star break. And I've said the All-Star break, like, I don't know, 4 times tonight. But anyway, point being is that a lot of teams will take the All-Star break. They'll get in, they'll look at what they've done. They'll try to figure out where they can improve and then go from there. We did that and maximized on it. And to your point, I mean, Dana Brown actually did what he said he was going to do. And like I said, I put him on blast on Twitter all day, every day. It was just like, what are you doing? Come on, pick up the phone. Let's do something. And then, PK and I both on the Kikuchi trade were just absolutely eating his lunch.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Dude, but it's worked out. It's been fantastic. We've talked about this already in the episode, but it's like, we've got to sew up a couple little things. But I mean, literally, if we're arguing about maybe that one guy on the bench we need for the outfield, or maybe we need that one starter that might be in there, or that one guy for the bullpen, it's like, don't get me wrong. I understand those little bitty decisions do make the difference between a World Series winning team and an ALCS losing team. But right now, like Chris said, I mean, the Yankees are afraid of us. I think the Baltimore Orioles are afraid of us. I think anybody above us in the standings overall in the AL is a little scared of what we've got going on right now, because we've been on hot streaks, even though we've lost a couple here and there. We dropped that last series to Boston, but at the same time, I mean, we're steamrolling ahead. So I'm not even worried about it.
No, and
I'm going to crack a beer on that one from Saloon Door here in Webster.
We're not. You got to run through us first. If you want to knock the king off the throne, you need to you got to prevent the team from getting to the ALCS, right? So if we go to an 8 straight ALCS, we're still the king. We got to, even if we lose. Now I'm not saying I obviously don't want that, but you got to dethrone the king to be the new team, and no one can do that. No one's been able to do that.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what does Ric Flair say?
To be
To
the man,
be
you
the
got to beat the
man,
man.
you gotta
You got
beat the
beat
man.
every time, man.
But
You
but the
know,
thing is too, I mean, like even if you look at last year, I mean the Rangers beat us. I get it, cool. But they can't replicate what we've done. I mean, so even when they beat us, it's still like look at the Braves. They beat us in 2021, and they since then they've haven't reached the World Series since. Look at I mean the only team that's beat us. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, you still even if the let's say hypothetically the Indians beat us, right? Do they have?
The Guardians.
the
What?
Guardians.
No, they're
Okay.
the Indians.
No.
They're the Indians. I'm sorry. I
Just go sit Guardian
refuse.
style. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, are they going to have the lasting power that the Astros have? No. And that's the thing. And like you look at it, and it's like, you look at the last 5 years. We lose Springer, we lose Correa, we lose Garrett Cole, right? This year we've lost 19 starters.
Everybody.
Kyle Tucker's been out for 2.5 months, and I mean, really, like I said, and then do the flip side of this, where we're bitching about 5 through 9 in the lineup. We're doing this with 5 through 9 in the lineup, not being nowhere near where our 5 through 9 in the lineup used to be 2, 3 years ago. So I mean, like we've got guys like Caleb Ort, in our bullpen that's contributing. We have a guy, fucking Ben Gamel, has been put on waivers by at least 9 teams in this league in the last 3 or 4 years, and we scoop him up. Immediately contributes. Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to be a 300 hitter and hit 20 bombs, but like it's moves like that, these small moves. Like you look at the Giants used to do this shit all the time. They'd pick up some lefty reliever, and I'd be like, I've never even heard of this guy, and he pitches like 8 shutout relief innings in the playoffs, helps them
Yeah.
win the World Series. So it's these little moves. I mean, yeah, I mean the big moves, are fantastic, to make, but I mean, we consistently bring on these guys that either we see something that we could fix that we felt like the team that they were previously on, couldn't fix, or we just look at a guy and say, okay, this guy can help. Let's put him in, a situation where he can help, and then he helps. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I agree. If I'm even the National League, I want no part. I mean, even the Dodgers. If I'm the Dodgers, I want no part of the Astros right now.
Well, because like if you play the Dodgers, they're going to be so amped because they're still butthurt about 7 years ago, and they're going to be so focused on beating them that they'll probably end up beating themselves, right? I mean, because like the Astros know what to do. They know how to, they know how to prepare. They know like what the ups and downs of the seasons are going to be, what the ups and downs of a playoff series is going to be. Like I said, man, nobody wants to play us. Nobody. Like we gave everybody a chance earlier in the season. They all fucked up. They didn't bury us. And here we are again, marching our way through it, And so, and we're doing all this crap without freaking Tucker. And I'm not saying like one guy's end all be all, but this 2.5 months of him being gone, like we're putting all this thing together with just bits and pieces here and there, all these little moves. So, to go back to the Dana Brown thing where we were, killing him about what he was saying in June about his former Braves team. Like, I'm trying to think like, okay, if I'm the GM, like obviously like you have to have some kind of hope and belief in your team. But like, do you actually think that there was like, it was a full 100%? Like, oh, I know we can turn this around. And then like it just happened. So then it's like, well, yeah, I knew that was coming type of deal. Like, what do you think? I mean,
I mean,
because there has to be some belief. But there also has to be some kind of doubt like, shit, man, like we zigged when we should have zagged on this.
well, I mean, like I think to be a successful GM, you have to have some type of belief in your team, unless you're Colorado or
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 Miami.
or Oakland or Miami right now. Like, so you have to have,
R.I.P. Billy Bean.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so I feel like you have to have some type of hope and faith. Now, again, too, what adds the cherry, the sprinkles on top is that this is a team that again has been to the last what, 8 ALCS, right? They've won seven. Okay, they've won 2 World Series. They've been to 2 other World Series, right? You still have a very thick core of players right now. You know, you got Altuve, Bregman, Jordan. You got JV back. You know, so I think at some point, I think it's more of like 60%. I actually do have faith that these guys will turn it around. And I mean, I guarantee you that they sat down, they went through every single scenario. You know, I'm sure that they've looked at, okay, if we're still, you know, what's the cutoff where we do a little bit, you know, where we start doing a little bit of retooling. But I do think that he has, I mean, this team has shown over the years that they're too good to be 10, 12 games under 500, you know, consistently, you know, and again, you know, I think so. I think you have to have a little bit, maybe some of it's like, yeah, let me just blow a little bit of smoke up their ass and, you know, move on to the next question.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Well, the one thing I will say, like we've already talked about this, Dana Brown did impress me with the Kikuchi trade, which we now are saying that. I did not say that at the beginning. I understand. But if you want to put the proof in the pudding, let's see what he does this offseason, because we've got 2 superstars right now. One that's going to be a free agent this year and one that's coming up. So if you're going to start trying to make Houston happy, you're either going to have to sign one or both of them. If you let Bregman and Tucker both walk, let me tell you, he will be unemployed in a heartbeat after.
Yeah. No. Facts,
well,
man.
I mean, I don't think so because he's going to get what he can spend from Crane, right? I mean,
That's
so,
fair enough. But
I mean,
But
like,
Crane spends though. Like for people thinking he doesn't spend, like he
but
doesn't. He
I'm not saying
doesn't
he
LA
doesn't
Dodgers,
spend,
Boston Red Sox spend, but he
but what
spends.
I'm saying is that he doesn't sign off on contracts that these guys are going to be asking
Yeah.
for. Now, do I think you give Tucker 10 years? Absolutely. If you're going to give a 10-year contract to somebody, you give it to Kyle Tucker, right? Bregman is not doing us any favors with him being as red hot as he is, right? So, like, you know, we talked about this last episode. I mean, I guarantee you he's going to want to get 7 anywhere from 7 to 10 years, about 35 a year. I'm thinking that's probably the zone that he's going to be, you know, looking for. And, you know, I mean, like you look at him defensively, the dude's probably, in my opinion, and this is not me being a homer, I think he's the best third baseman in the league defensively.
Oh no,
You know?
he's a straight vacuum down
So,
there.
you know, and offensively, I mean, like, yeah, he doesn't have the flashy, like, super high batting average. I mean, but the guy knocks in runs. I mean, it's like almost like, I mean, he's worth right now, like, if you're looking at what he's doing over the last, like, month, he's worth that 7 to 10 year contract. If you think about it, he is. I mean, so again, we have to see what what Crane is going to allow um, Dana Brown to do, because again, if you look at the big picture, you know, they're already on the second tier of the tax threshold, right? So they're already there. You know,
well, a
does
lot of that
JV
has
come
to
back?
do with like some poor Bagwell moves, though. Not to cut you
Yeah, but
off.
those Bagwell moves are still going to be there next year. It
Yeah.
won't be until 2026 until we're relieved of those bad Bagwell moves. You know, not to mention, you know, if you sign Tucker, now, I mean, you have 2 holes as far as in your starting lineup in the outfield. You already have a hole at first base. So, and then again, too, it's like you have to, I would like to think that you're going to try to learn from your mistakes. So I would assume you try to build some more starting pitching depth because at this point, I mean, you're hoping that Javier comes back next year. You're hoping that Urquidy comes back. You're hoping Garcia comes back, and McCullers probably won't be back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, so then, like I said, do you let Verlander walk? I mean, you let him walk. I mean, that does free up some money. But as we talked about last week, you're still in the hole for the what I call the Bagwell contracts. So, I mean,
Well,
I don't think we're really going to be able to do like anything really major until next offseason.
I mean, if you do let Verlander walk, I think that's definitely going to free up a lot of money, but it's not going to free up enough money to do what we're talking about. One of the articles that I did read today, which I thought was pretty interesting, is if we keep Whitcomb playing the way he is, keep him at third, and then they were talking about even moving Bregman over to first.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, like we were talking about, Bregman is a vacuum right now at third base. Don't get me wrong, I like that. But if you're signing this guy to a long-term contract, keep him at third maybe for a season, two more, and then pop him over to first. Because guess what? We don't have defense at first base. We haven't had defense at first base in a long time since I think
Well,
Big Poop was there.
I mean,
I
Yuli
mean,
was
that's
pretty good down there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm disrespecting Yuli Gurriel. You're 100% right on that. But at the same
you're
time,
right,
I think Bregman could play first. We put Whitcomb, at third, and then just go from there.
Yeah, I saw an article either yesterday, or the day before. I think it was on ESPN. It was a way too early off-season free agency, and it talked about a potential replacement at third base if Bregman walks. And they talked
Oh, talk
about
about Matt Chapman.
Matt Chapman.
I saw
Yeah.
that too.
I mean, but
You know, and
I don't hate it,
I
but I
don't
think he's going to ask a lot of money.
right because he got a lot. He actually got a lot over there at San Francisco.
Well, no, because he was one of the Boris guys, and he ended up settling like he
It was like-
wanted
it
this
was like
massive
2 years,
contract.
2 years, 43 or something like that.
I thought he only got one.
That was a one.
Yeah, I thought he
Really?
got one as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe it was.
So, and again, he's a Boris client, so they're
holding
I mean,
out
I
for
was-
very. Oh, they all held out and they got shafted, and they can all
Yeah.
thank Boris for that.
yeah.
So-
I mean, so
I don't know if I like the move for Bregman to first. I don't know if I do. It just seems odd to me. It seems like they're just band-aiding something. Now, he had this elbow thing for a couple of days, like he slept on it wrong. Is that what I heard? Is that what it was, or some crap?
I have no idea how he heard it, to be honest with you. It's like they kept talking about it, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
It
sounds
just
like
seems-
something I would do in my 40s. It's like I slept on it wrong. I'm going to be on the DL for a week.
Yeah, but he was, still good enough to take, at bats if needed. He DH tonight. It just, I don't know. I just don't see first base. You got to be a vacuum, so that takes care of Bregman for that, and it's a power position, right? And Bregman has that. I just feel like if you're going to move him to first, you're sacrificing a lot at a really big defensive. I mean, they both are obviously first and third, right? But we're so accustomed to having Bregman at third, all the plays that he makes down there. You can put essentially, I mean, you're seeing it almost every game. You can put almost any Joe Blow at first base to catch the damn ball. I mean, really, but you can't put anybody just at third base to pick those hot shots and all that good stuff. So, be interesting to see what they're going to do, going forward. But as we come up here towards the end of the episode, I don't think we've done the circle of trust in a minute.
we haven't done that in a while.
I think we missed July. So
yeah, we did.
So next week, let's roll out the circle of trust for the month of August. Also, even though we have already played one game against Baltimore, I'd like to hear your predictions for the next, was that 6 games that we have, right? 4 and 3? Yeah, 6. So we have 6 games left between Baltimore and Philly until we meet again next Thursday. So you're already on the 1-up on the win side. So what do y'all think the remaining 6 games will be? What's the call?
What you got, Chris?
Not all at once.
I'm pulling up the schedule because I want to. Okay, so we won tonight. Man, I mean, Baltimore's pitching and their bullpen is hot garbage too. Everybody's talking about how terrible their bullpen is. I mean, I think we could take 3 or 4 Baltimore. I think so, and I think the guy that'll take the loss in the Baltimore series, if he's pitching, is going to be Blanco. I've also read, and I agree with Bryles, that the Phillies have been kind of stumbling since the All Star break. They're not as ferocious as they were in the beginning of the season. This is going to be a very house divided, because like I said, Mandy has this love affair with Bryce Harper. She wanted to name Logan Bryce Harper and had to shut that shit down. So,
Good job, by the way.
I do what I can. Yeah. So I'm going to say 3-1 against Baltimore. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go 3-1 against Baltimore, 2-1 against the Phillies. So if my Sandjack math adds up, what is that? 5-2. And I'm 3 for 3 tonight. I'm 3 for 3.
Dude, you're killing the game. Killing the game. What you got, Bros?
It's we have been talking about Baltimore a lot, and how their bullpen's been bad, how their starting pitching's been bad, and the one thing that we haven't talked about though is their young players and how they've actually been performing and coming up like I didn't expect them to. They've been actually hitting a lot better, and they still have, in my opinion, the MVP favorite over Aaron Judge, Mr. Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar, yeah, that dude's a beast.
Dude, he's 22.
So,
he's 22 years old.
And you got Jackson Holiday, who looks like he's 12. Benjamin asked me, why are they letting a 12-year-old play? I'm like, dude, you don't even know. I'm like, that's the number one prospect in baseball right now. That's why.
Yeah. So anyway, I say we're going to split with Baltimore. I think we're going to go 2-2. I would love to say we're going 3-1, but I think we're going to split. I think we're going to go 2-2, and then when we get to Philly, I think we're going to take 2 out of 3 in Philly. I think that the one game that we will lose will probably end up being sloppy, and I think the 2 that we do win is going to be total domination, because right now they're a boat without a rudder. I mean, they are not doing well at all. So it's I think we take advantage of Philly, take 2 out of 3 from there. Like I said, 2 for 2 and 2 in Baltimore.
So these are all road games, right? And I think with the road win tonight, I want to say the Astros won the last 7 or 8 road games they've been on. If I read the stat right at the end of the game. I also like the 3-1 against Baltimore. I really do. I just feel like we have Baltimore's number. I just think we do. So I'll take the 3-1 Baltimore. The Phillies, I really haven't been keeping up that much with them other than Sports Center. And yeah, they were killing the game in the first half, but I know that they've had several game losing streaks so far in the second half of the season. I kind of like the 2 and 3, 2 out of 3 with Philly also. So I can't even do the math now, but yeah,
5-2,
5-2, 5-2. So I like the 5-2. I would take the 5-2, 4-3, out of that for sure. I mean, winning, as long as we don't lose a series to these guys, because we picked up another half game tonight, I think, because I don't think the Mariners play tonight.
I'm checking it right now.
But the Mariners lost last night, so we didn't lose any ground yesterday.
Yeah, they're about to do a lot of housekeeping down there.
They lost 8-4 to the Dodgers. So I like the 3-1, 2 out of 3 against Philly, 5-2. And then we got Kansas City after that, don't we?
Yep.
And who's after Kansas City?
Oh, shit. I had it pulled up. Okay, so Seattle's about to start a series with San Francisco. And then Texas is starting a series with Cleveland, the Indians. So
it's about the Rangers. I did see a thing on the Twitter today.
The Twitter machine.
It was actually kind of an interesting stat, and it had to do with the Rangers. And I really didn't realize it because I really don't care about Bruce Bochy or the Rangers. However, out of every championship every pennant that Bruce Bochy has won as a manager, the following year his team has not made the playoffs.
Sounds right.
That sounds about right? And that's where they're heading again this year, which I'm good with. I just thought it was kind of interesting. But Braz, did you watch that clip that we sent you? That I sent you about Bonds and Maddox? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. That was awesome.
How freaking awesome is that, dude?
That
I
was
wish we could cut it
absolutely
and kind of
amazing.
play
The
it.
two of them breaking it down.
Oh yeah, and then even tonight, like I don't really watch a lot of Fox baseball when it's on because usually the Astros aren't playing. But Adam Wainwright was the color guy, play-by-play guy tonight. He's actually really good. I actually
I
like
couldn't.
him.
I couldn't stand Kenny Albert. After about the first inning, I was about ready to meet that shit.
Oh,
It's
he's like his
like,
dad. He's like his dad, Marv Albert. Like just
well, I
annoying.
mean, like when I hear his voice, I think of football, not baseball. So, like even Benjamin was like, "Why does it sound weird?" I was like, "Oh, that guy's just has an annoying voice. It's not the same guys. It's not
Yeah.
TK or yeah, it's not TK and Blummer. It's on Fox." So, but hey, we balled out in front of a national audience.
So are they playing? Is that the only national audience game they have? For this,
um,
I feel like they should. I know on Monday it's on. They're playing Philly on FS1. I know that, but like I feel like this is a pretty big series to where they could either play again on Fox on Saturday or maybe the Sunday night game. I don't think they're playing the Sunday night game. It's probably like the Mets and somebody
so
stupid.
no, actually, this okay. No, yeah. So tomorrow night's game is going to be on the Space City Network. It's also being shown on the MLB Network, and then what is that? Saturday's game is going to be on just Space City Network, and then Sunday's game, which is at where is it at? Oh, look at that! Yeah, we do have the Sunday night game.
There we go. That's what I'm saying. It's a
Excellent.
pretty big series. I feel like they would have ESPN, so that's good.
So yeah, I'm surprised. They're not going to be showing the Yankees play
Yankees, yeah,
the Rockies. I'm
or
surprised.
yeah, LA or someone stupid like that.
Yeah. So
Well, cool. So yeah, next episode, man. Let's revisit our predictions. Andrew's keeping tabs on that. We want to thank the guy behind the glass doing the boards tonight.
yes, sir. Thanks,
Um,
man.
New addition to the squad, and so he'll keep track of the predictions. We'll do Circle of Trust for next week and get back into this thing. Hopefully, our IT department will figure out the Facebook Live
Yes.
situation.
Our newly hired IT department. I got fired, so I fired myself.
But guys, you got anything else to add before we hit this audio?
I got
Um,
one more.
Go ahead, man.
If I can jump in front, yeah. So, I try to say it all the time, and if you follow me on Twitter, you've seen it. Hammer those overs when we hit the Phillies. When we go to Philadelphia, that is going to be an extravaganza of runs. So hit them.
There you go. You heard it here.
Yeah. I mean, no. I mean, like, busy weekend. Hope everybody has a fantastic weekend, and yeah, I'm gonna hopefully hopefully Brown's wife can fix the issue. The only other thing I was gonna do is delete the Facebook from it and then maybe re-add it. Maybe that'll work. Maybe I shouldn't create a event and just leave it. I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, let's
And again, in the future, because for people on Facebook who won't watch this live, thank you in the future for everybody that views this. So hopefully we've entertained you guys. Tell your friends. We're trying to, the more people, the merrier. And like I said, we'll actually get the actual Facebook or the actual Juicebox Heroes YouTube hooked up to. This was just kind of a burner account I made because we were having issues with that. But now that we know we are streaming live on YouTube, so I think the YouTube IT department handled that one pretty well.
yeah, that one was done pretty seamlessly. So if we can just pivot them to Facebook, that would be great. But one day soon, we will be live on two platforms at the same time,
Yeah,
and will almost look like a real production.
yeah. So one last thing, and I guess I'll edit this out. So make sure you just hit stop recording, so that way it uploads everybody's tracks. Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm on it. Hey, you know what? What other podcast gives you behind the scenes on the shit that we do when we're not
Wait,
recording?
hold on.
Ed.
Give it to Andrew real quick. Go for it, Andrew. Oh, after you stop recording, of course. Never
Yeah.
mind.
There you go. So
All
behind
right,
the scenes, there you go. You guys are welcome.
There you go. It's the inside look. So it's the true Hollywood story
Yeah.
of the Juice Box Heroes.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
All right.
Well, y'all have a good one. We will
PK, hit the audio. Take us home.
we'll talk to y'all next week. And thank you for listening to the Juice Box Heroes.
All right, guys. Take it easy.